Blessings and welcome to the Law of One Study Channel, conscious channeling of LL Research. We are those known to you as the principle of QO. Greetings, my friends, in the love and in the light of the one infinite Creator, in whose name we come to you this evening. Because there are those within this group who are new, we would introduce ourselves. We are members of the Confederation of Angels and Planets in the service of the Infinite Creator. And it is our pleasure to have been called to this group, for there is a call for information that is comparable with the vibration of information which we offer. That is the vibration of service to others and unconditional love. It is a privilege and a pleasure to be called to your group this evening. We want to thank you, each of you, for carving out a part of your day in order that you may focus in the circle on that which is metaphysical or spiritual, on the walking of your path of evolution of mind, body, and spirit. We thank you for feeling that our thoughts may have value to you, and we are most happy to share them with you. But first, we wish to ask of you a favor, and that is that you employ your full discernment as you listen. We cannot hit the mark for all entities at all times. Consequently, if we offer thoughts that are useful to you, please use them as the resources they are intended to be. But if they do not seem to make sense to you, if they do not resonate to you, leave them behind without a second thought. Trust that feeling of resonance. Trust your powers of discrimination. You know what you need, and it will resonate to you. Use those things that resonate, and no matter who says them, do not be concerned. If something does not resonate to you, it is not for you to work with at this time. If you will employ that discernment, my friends, that will enable us to feel free to speak, knowing that we cannot infringe upon your free will inadvertently. We greatly thank you for this consideration. You asked this evening about how synchronicity works in the life of the spiritual seeker. And so often happens, we need to take a few steps back from that query in order to give you a cogent response. It is a spiritual principle which we repeat often, that all things are one. You dwell in a completely unified and interactive universe. The creation is one. You are all beings, all things, all emotions. You are a part of the Creator, and therefore a citizen of eternity. Comfortable with infinity, dwelling for this particular lifetime within a physical vehicle in a heavy illusion. Within your illusion, which you call everyday life or consensus reality, if you will, it is not obvious that all things are one. It is, in fact, counterintuitive to say that you are part of all you see, and that all whom you see act as a hall of mirrors for you. Yet, it is so. And we speak to you at a time when your scientists have begun to tell you the same. That entire range of physics that includes the thought that the observer is part of the experiment infers the unity of all things. We do not limit this unity to other entities you would call human. It is as if all of nature, from the elements and the powers to the plants and animals, to the very air you breathe and the water that you drink, the fire that warms your feet and the earth under your feet, are dancing in rhythm. And you are either part of that dance and part of that rhythm, or you have not yet awakened to the true state within which you actually dwell in the creation of the Creator. It is as a beloved part of the one creation that you may come to this affinity for synchronicity. It is unknown to us when you first became aware that what you thought was your consciousness was, in actuality, a mishmash of all the politics and social training and enculturation that you have experienced as a child. We do not know when you took that first step out of the box, out of the matrix. But you have, or you would not be here. You would not be seeking. Once you wake up, you move through many waters, experience many dark nights of the soul, because it is painful to learn new things. It is uncomfortable to experience that learning curve. You might do many things. You might read and read until you burn yourself out. You might meditate until you make yourself crazy. You might do any of a number of things which are as confusing as they are excellent. But slowly you begin to dwell from time to time in silence. That silence in which you are able to hear that still, small voice that speaks in silence to your heart of hearts. And you begin to realize that this walk that you are walking is not a physical road. It is what this instrument would call, with her mystical Christianity, the King's Highway. It is walked not in space-time, but in the unseen worlds of time-space. That is where you, as a citizen of eternity, have never stopped dwelling. Yes, you are in a physical vehicle, and yes, you are deeply limited in your awareness by the heavy chemical nature of that physical vehicle. But within you, closer than your breathing, is your consciousness. That consciousness, unlike your brain, is common to all. It is the consciousness of love, the Logos, the one creator. And when you relax and allow the monkey mind, as this instrument often calls the biocomputer with which you were born, that excellent choice maker, and that slave driver, when you let that mind rest, the consciousness allows you to think differently, to see differently, to understand differently. As your moments of silence build your new awareness, you gradually realize that you cannot function with only your mind. You must use your consciousness as well if you wish to advance or evolve within the body. There are many ways to enter the silence. Some there are in this circle who are very comfortable with prayer. Others enjoy contemplation or meditation or walks in nature. Any way that is comfortable to you to tabernacle with the Infinite One is that which you should do. There is no one good way to spend time with the Creator. The thing that all these techniques have in common is silence. Silence is the key that opens the door to understanding. One day, you realize just how powerful you are, and you decide that you are going to do things differently from now on. You are going to take a leap into faith. Why would any rational, sentient being leave the solid earth of that which can be proven, touched, and seen, and leap into the abyss of the mysterious and paradoxical? Why? Because that is where spiritual growth takes place, and the hunger and the thirst for spiritual truth is such that you must leave your childhood home of rationality and that which can be proven, and you must seek in the shadowy byways of mystery. It is a dark abyss. We see in this instrument's mind a picture of the old maps of the world, where the popular belief was that your world was flat, and that at its end a ship would simply sail off into the abyss. The writings on those maps was not in English, of course, my friends. Was written, there be dragons. There are indeed mighty denizens of the abyss of midair, yet they are those which not only guard the treasures of love and understanding, but also guard you, each of you, careful to support you as you seek along the King's Highway, which is entirely in the abyss of midair. When you have taken your leap into faith, when you have realized the power of your intention and your will and your desire, and when you have begun to set your intention to seek, to set your will to be a servant of the light and the love of the one infinite Creator, when you have awakened that magical part of yourself that knows that you can create your own creation, and that which is forgiven by you is forgiven, and that which is not forgiven by you remains unforgiven, then you begin to be aware of the dance of creation. You dance with an infinite variety of energy as you dance in the creation of the Creator. Every rock, every stream, every tree, all those things that you think of as nature are dancing with you and are responsive to you. It is important to realize that first and second density entities, such as we just mentioned, do not have to be asked in order for synchronicities to occur with them. However, it is extremely helpful if you remember to thank the unseen guidance that you have, your higher self, your angels, those ministering beings that are attracted to you because of your energy, your vibration, your hopes, and your dreams. Ask them every day for their help and thank them for being with you. That frees them to enter more fully into the process of offering you synchronicities. Now, here's the way that it works. Once you have taken the leap into faith, you set into motion a different set of rules. You are now awake, vibrant, magical, dancing with the energies around you, knowing that you are a part of all that there is, and that all that there is loves you as you love all that there is. Thusly, when you have a thought, it doesn't simply roll around in your head and go clunk like a gutter ball at the bowling alley. The thought moves out into the dance, and that which wants to respond to that thought begins to find ways to enter into your reality. Entities meet. There is a song on the radio that says, "Yes, that thought that you were thinking just then is very good. Keep that up." Your totem might show up, and if you do not know what your totem is, simply become aware of what tree you were drawn to, what bird speaks to you, what force of nature pulls at you and feels like something you want in your life. Whether it be a bird, beast, crystal, or tree. That kingdom, that nature spirit of tree or bird or beast or rock, will find a way to show up in your reality to underscore or emphasize a train of thought and help you to begin to build a personal store of intelligence. Now you see, that which is spiritual or metaphysical must be learned by you without proof. You will find that when things are truly oriented to the spiritual, there is no way of proving it that people will believe. It is useless to try to find proof. Yes, this or that or the other phenomena will, well, be real. It does not matter. There is no other entity that you have to convince. What you are attempting to do is orient yourself once you have left the box. It's a larger universe. It's a puzzling universe. It often seems chaotic. Therefore, it is very helpful to have these subjectively interesting phenomena take place, these synchronicities of which we were speaking. Once you begin to become aware that synchronicities are valid, and you are your means of determining what is true and what is not, you will energize that interaction with the creation, and you will find synchronicities occurring thick and fast, almost to the point where you cannot sit down at the end of the day and remember them all. Pay attention to all of those which you can. They are there to help you build your subjective awareness of the truth. One more thing that we would say before we open this meeting to further queries. It is an understandable response which you may have to this exciting magical thing that you have discovered, synchronicity. It creates within you a feeling of validation and support. And you would like all of those for whom you love and care to have that same experience. My friends, we ask you to take a step back whenever the urge to preach to those who have not asked for your preaching overtakes you. Close your mouth, Open your eyes of love and listen to your loved ones, your acquaintances, those whom you would help. Do not relate to them by what you know. Relate to them with love and respect. Listen to that which they have to say. If there is no opening for all of those wonderful things that you have learned lately, so be it. Amen. Alleluia. You still are a being whose very essence is love. Let the love shine. Find ways to support and encourage and nourish and nurture. And lose all hopes of being that awakened factor that will bring them into a happier state. You may drop a thought here and there, as this instrument is fond of saying, like Johnny Appleseed. But remember, he ate the apple first. Those things that you were going to say to another, say them to yourself. And when you have eaten that wonderful apple with its delicious thoughts and concepts, toss it over your shoulder. Let it fall where it will. Do not look back. It is not your job to enlighten any but yourself. Now, if there are those who would ask you questions, feel free to offer all that you have to offer in those regards, but make a clear distinction in your mind between responding to an asked question and sermonizing to those who have not asked for a sermon. What will affect those about you is not your knowledge. It is that which shines through you, the love of the Creator. To live a life that supports spiritual seeking, we do recommend that you find ways to meet your Creator in the silence on a daily basis. There are some who love this experience of the silence so much that they spend much time there, and there are others who find it challenging to dwell in the silence without some focus. If that be true, walking in nature is often very helpful because there are various foci for your eyes and your ears, may we say, my friends, not the iPod or the boombox. Let the silence prevail, and you will find it speaking to you. And then when you come out of that silence, sing, my friends. Laugh and love and feel the joy of being in this creation. A child and part of the Infinite One. We thank the one known as Jim for creating that query, and at this time we would open the session to any follow-up that he may have. Is there a follow-up, my brother? We are those of QO. QO, I do not have a follow-up question. A follow-up question I considered asking you just... A follow-up question I considered asking you just answered. And I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you so much, QO.